Tonight on EVB Broadcasting, Neon Noir, a tale of murder, mystery, and outer space. We've got a great show for you folks tonight, so don't touch that dial. Broadcast begins in...
Past Mars's war-torn craters, past the Earth's burnt and desiccated husk, the moon Europa circles slowly around Jupiter. It's a tangled mess of concrete hyperblocks lit only by monochrome billboards, a maze known only as Neon Noir. Our story will begin proper in Hyperblock 1, a collection of old abandoned commercial buildings at the southern edge of the map there. Before we do that, we're going to do some character introductions, and then we'll begin in full. Francis, you will be first up. Interior of a Lancejet racer daybreak, idling just above the rings of Saturn. There is an announcer. Hello and welcome to the 322nd Quadra-Annual Ring Around Saturn. Gentlemen, start your engines! Francis, it is pitch black. In just a few moments, the sun will break over Saturn's horizon line and the race will begin. How are you feeling?
Oh man, this is what I'm born to do. The anticipation, the edge of just the race about to hit relativistic speeds. I'm waiting for the light.
There's a voice in through your intercom that kind of pokes at your concentration.
So tell me, Francis, how does it feel to be all the way back there in second place?
Fucks, my old friend. It's always those cockroaches that slip in when you least expect it. That's the only reason you're in first.
We shall see, Francis.
And the light breaks over the horizon.
Punch it.
There's a moment before the sound catches up to you and you are sailing through space, mere miles from the shards of ice and stone that is the racetrack. It's tight at first, it's close, and then you hear it, the first call. It would be so easy, just a little twist of the wheel.
No, I resist. I resist.
You see little specks against the light of the sun, the asteroid belt hanging suspended, the shattered husk of the Earth casting its silhouette, the icicle spears that come hurtling towards you. Just let it happen.
The little points, as they zip past me, they're alluring, but I juke out of the way.
Yeah. The last section comes around and Prometheus is in sight. It'd be a dangerous gambit, but if you were to swing out wide enough to catch the gravity well...
Yeah, we hit the edge of Prometheus. We deploy the little flaps or whatever you call them and zip around.
You slingshot well past the others, and you're easily in first. And then you hear it. Just a little nudge.
As I look at my opponents in the rear view finder, I relax just a microsecond.
Darkness. You wake up in your ship's stasis pod, your eyes are open, and you're floating, kind of circling around Saturn. You try to move, but you can't. And your pod must have malfunctioned, because you're not supposed to be awake. And you hear it again. Hello, love. We get to speak at last.
It's just this profound silence, and I hear this voice in my head. I'm like, I can't speak, obviously, but I think, what the fuck is that?
Oh, darling, I'm you. I'm your need for self-destruction.
That doesn't make any sense.
You looked into the void, and the void noticed you have such beautiful eyes.
That does sound like me.
And would you describe your character for us?
Yeah. So obviously I've got the little aviator hat and the goggles. Francis is a kind of like, think of the old school like race car driver sort of guys. He's kind of wire thin, but has a strength to him. He is always got some like grease on his face or on his arms because he's working on his own engines. Kind of medium build, able to fit into like the smaller cockpits. But yeah, just like a guy or whatever.
Just like a guy or whatever.
Yeah.
When the scavengers finally pick up your pod, you make it as far as Europa before the money runs out. You're stacked up and loaded into shipping containers. It's pitch black, and you hear, "Oh, hey, Greg, where's this stasis pod going?" "Says the shipping payment declines and just mark it for recycling." And we'll get right back to you. Interior night, 100 years ago on Mars. It's a packed theater. All of the higher-ups of Mars Unlimited are there, all the bigwigs, because it's opening night, not only for the show, but for a new prototype. There is an actor on stage, frilled shirt, the whole 9 yards, who gestures off proscenium left and goes, "Now farewell, flattery, and live Androidicus, our eternal god. Prithee, tell us of our empire."
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears.
And you hear something. Little electrical resonance pings, ghosts in the machine. Something is en route to this theater. Something deadly.
I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him.
And the crowd goes wild. They're so excited that this works, that you're doing such a good job. A spotlight comes down and illuminates your mechanical figure as the doomed patrons applaud. Would you describe your character for us?
Yes. Beta for research into dramatic operations, otherwise known as Bardo. Bardo looks like a clothing store mannequin. Very featureless, easy to put costumes on and makeup, prosthetics. But yes, he looks remarkably like the human being from Community, the school mascot. Utterly featureless, but yeah, it's Bardo.
Do you have like the eyes and a mouth painted on, or is it?
He's just playing right now, but he could, you put eye prosthetics. Mr. Potato Head. Yeah.
Customize the Picasso, like old Mr. Potato Head.
Exterior day, a massive scrapyard on Europa, and you are set chest deep in rusted metal when you wake up. You are surrounded by the scraps of the last century's wars.
Oh my. The evil that men do lives after them. Ooh, yeah. Crawl out.
Yeah, you manage to free yourself. Little tin cans and bronze wire begins to cascade down this scrap mound. And as you're moving, you hear glass shatter underfoot. Your foot has narrowly missed the skull of somebody in the stasis pod.
What the fuck? Okay. I can move. Hello? Get me out of this thing, man. Get me out of this thing.
Wonderful costume. What role are you playing?
The role is going to kick your ass if you don't get me out of this escape pod. Help me.
Okay, improvised. Okay.
Yeah, he manages to pull you out. You're free at last. You're taking the first steps that you've taken in 3 years, probably.
Holy shit. What are you even?
I'm Bardo, Beta for research into dramatic operations. Bardo for short. Pleased to make your acquaintance, sir.
Francis.
Sir
Right.
Francis.
It's just Francis, okay? My father was Sir Francis. Okay. What do we see? Is there anywhere we can
You are
get out of this scrap?
You're surrounded in the short term by these scrap piles, collections of old machinery. The horizon line is mostly dilapidated buildings, the skyscrapers that have fallen over on themselves. You see a specific cluster of buildings that seem to be mostly intact and probably your best bet.
Robot, do you know Do you know what the is there anywhere we can get out of here? Like this.
I'm not a robot.
You're not.
I'm
not
an actor. All right. Do not, demean me by saying, my base derivatives.
Okay, all right.
You leaking flesh bag.
Yeah, okay, all right,
It's not
okay.
nice.
Cool. I'm not leaking currently. Let's before I start to leak, let's make our way over here. These buildings look, at least there's something there. Let's go check it out.
And we'll get right back to you guys. Evelyn, interior night, a cheap luxury apartment on the Upper East Side. Your front door swings open, and inside you see your small, barely furnished apartment, faux leather couch, a kind of steel table. There's a little plate of protein reduct bars with candles shoved haphazardly in. You see your wife asleep on the couch. She wakes and goes, "Oh, Evelyn, darling, you promised you wouldn't work ever so late again."
I'm sorry. It was such a long day. But let's go to bed.
"Oh, would you come here for a second first?"
Sure.
And she has a little bottle of mascara, and she looks deeply into you, and the kind of like photovoltaics, these little machines, tiny in your eyes, begin to widen into these dark pools of iris. And she's flicking the mascara through her lashes, and she goes, "Terribly sorry, darling. It's just so lonely when I look at myself any other way."
Okay, well, let's go to bed.
"Do you know what day it is?"
It's a long day.
"I was thinking it should be your birthday." And she kind of gestures over to her makeshift cake. You don't have a birthday. You have the date of manufacture. But she leans close and goes, "So what do you want to do tonight, birthday girl?"
Millie, I feel like we both have a very long day, and I'm just gonna take her waist and take her to bed, hopefully.
And then you wake up, and it's been 5 years. You are on the subway to work. The other detectives kind of shuffle off in their dark gray suits. You are alone on the platform, and you look down into a pool of kind of dark, muddy rainwater, and you see a reflection of yourself. Would you describe your character for us?
Yeah, I'm Evelyn. I'm a synthetic replicant, a la Blade Runner type of gal. And I'm married, and I'd like to find my wife.
You make your way into the office. You find your desk. It is clean and empty except for a single case file. Always the same case file. Your partner, large, barrel-chested, and about one drink away from liver failure, approaches and he goes, So, what's the missing persons you're working? Who was she to you?"
Obviously someone very important.
"Yeah? Like a wife? I got one of those at home too, but that's why I'm here all the time." And he catches himself. He goes, "Look, I'm sorry. Our marriage counselor's just, I'm trying to practice being more gratitude, having more gratitude towards her."
Well, I would know his name, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what's his
Phil.
name?
I don't know.
Phil. Phil, let's just get back to work.
"Listen, and he has this plastiche folder. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Chief doesn't want any skin sorry. People of synthetic make working the high-profile beats. You've been reassigned to the pit." And he hands you the envelope. "And I'm sorry, Evelyn. You were a good partner." It is snowing on the abandoned moon Saluna, the largest shard along the hab farms of the asteroid belt. Freya, you are young, a child, and you're with your parents walking up the ridge of a massive crater. Your father, tall and still kind of invincible to you, leans down and goes, "Freya, how you doing? I know it's far."
She's, breathing heavy. I'm fine.
Yeah, you want to piggyback?
Yes, please.
And it hoists you up, and you are so tall, and you can see at the top of this ridge, you see an abandoned research facility. The concrete has begun to slew off. You see an old Earth flag bleached white from the radiation near the entrance. Your dad sets you down, and your mother goes, "All right, so stay here. Don't touch anything. Don't do anything. We'll be right back."
Yeah, it's standard protocol.
That's my little cadet. Good job. And they kind of lean down and crouch under a jammed open door. And then you're alone on Saluna, and there's this moment of boredom. You're a child left alone in a gray rock and snow.
It's, the first minute always hunker down, but then it's like nothing has happened yet, so why be cautious?
You see a little light flickering through one of the broken windows. As you kind of get closer, you see a small vulpine figure made almost entirely of flame. It seems to be struggling with the low oxygen, the low air of this place.
Just like it was totally like a crawl, like not a crawl, but like a hunched walk, and then she's not quite tall enough to fully see in there. She's up on her toes a little bit, looking in there, and just wide-eyed, and already beginning to scramble her way.
Yeah. Tumbles in. The figure kind of wakes with a little start and kind of presses its nose against your hand, and the fire just yes, and the fire just kind of tickles.
She's been asking for a puppy for so long. Now there's a puppy here.
Your parents come around the corner and goes, your mother's, "Freya, be careful, don't touch it. Be okay."
Already
fully in your palm.
Yeah.
Your mother goes full biologist mode. She's like, "Wow, fascinating. What is this creature? It seems to be some sort of, it's living off the chemical reactions." And your dad is fully over it and he goes, "Oh yeah, so what do you want to name it?"
She thinks, runs through a few terrible names that she doesn't say aloud, but then thinks of these stories that her mother will read to her as they're on these long travels, some of her favorites. She looks at her dad and says, "Cindy's."
That's a good name. And it's at that moment the floodlights flick on and you hear a voice outside. "This is Federation Commander Margaret Calhoun. Please come out of the building with your hands up." And your dad goes, "Okay, sweetheart, we need you to be very brave for us, all right? Take and send these and run as fast as you can back to the ship. Can you do that for us? I'm sorry for asking so much of you."
Already scooping up and already on her way.
And you're clutching this small flame against your chest, leaving little footprints in the gray snow dust of Saluna when you hear the Federation gunshots. 23 years have passed. And your macrowave dings. The smell of burnt sprouts kind of permeates your cramped cinder block room. You wake up in your little mattress on the floor, kind of surrounded by grow tents and rejection letters from academic journals. Would you describe your character for us?
Freya is, she is tall, she is thin, she is someone who eats just the amount she needs to keep herself going, and her body shows that. She has sort of chestnut, reddish-brown hair, wavy down to the middle of her back. Very pale, clearly is not spending much time around any lights that would change that. And she has two small branches that seem to be growing out of the side of her head, but it's not just random, they're growing sort of along the side, almost as if they were horns made out of wood.
Cool. Freya, it is time to water the plants and feed the flame. There's a little side room past a bookshelf full of revolutionary texts, and Incendies is curled up there, far from anything flammable. It's just kind of sullen embers at this point, barely surviving like you. But as long as that fire burns, it's almost like they're still alive. And the fire alarm goes off.
Just a heavy sigh, and grabbing a chair and dragging it over to the wall, like grabbing something to fan away the smoke.
Yeah.
You know, this is all very routine at this point.
There's a knock on your door, and you've woken a detective on her penultimate day before work.
You all right in there?
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Well, it doesn't sound fine.
It's fine.
Okay, well, would you like to meet him, your new neighbor?
Everything is fine.
I didn't ask if it was fine.
You did.
Well, yeah, but we're past that. I would like to meet you now.
I'm sorry. As you can hear, I'm dealing with something.
Well, maybe I can help.
I can. Don't worry.
As you try to open the door, you see there's an old woman kind of hobbling down the way with two interesting figures, and she goes, "All right, and so these will be your rooms, and these are your neighbors here. Oh, hey, what? That's not your room. What are you doing there?"
And as soon as you're like messing with the door, there's just like a thud on the other.
I'm just trying to be polite and meet.
Caught that one.
Nice, got it.
Sorry, keep going.
Freya's just missed the door.
On your side.
Yeah, on my side. Yeah.
Okay, fine. I was just trying to meet my neighbor.
Oh,
And
well.
also help maybe with the fire alarm.
And then
That's still going.
and then you like manage to stop that.
I told you it was fine.
Didn't sound fine.
And so goes, and so this is Evelyn. She's very sweet, and and would you like to introduce yourselves?
I'm Beta for research into dramatic operations, but you may call me Bardo.
He's gonna do that little turn.
Hello.
Francis Lockhart, spaceship pilot extraordinaire.
Oh wow.
Don't have as many titles as this guy, but yeah, close enough.
Do you fly still?
That's what spaceships usually do. They fly. Yeah.
And so goes, and I'll leave you guys to it now. If you go to the lower floors, bring a gun. And begins to hobble down.
Well,
Yep.
Madam.
Yes.
Do you perhaps know of anyone looking to hire a stage actor?
No, but if you are interested in other, a little bit less glamorous work, you can come up to the UHA offices, and I might have a job for you.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
Freya's door opens just enough for her head to pop out.
And as soon as it does, I start.
It closes just enough.
I'm curious.
You're an actor?
Yes. Actor, table reader. I do commercials.
Yeah. You can say things convincingly and connect with people.
I don't know. You tell me.
Good lord.
No, you tell me. You said you were the actor. Anyway, I have some material that I'd love to get in front of people.
Oh, okay. Yes. Happy to do so. Are you an aspiring playwright?
It's a paying gig, right? Paying
Oh,
gig.
no.
Yes, you must speak
Yes,
first to my agent
yeah.
here.
Yeah. Agent. If you don't have the cash, then I'm sorry he can't act.
It doesn't pay money, but it pays in spirit.
I love spirit.
Oh no, you don't love Spirit.
No?
You don't love Spirit.
Oh.
It's a scam. This person is like they running an MLM out of this place or something. We can't do it. We need actual cash.
Madam, you mentioned the need for a gun?
Oh yes, the underfloors are run by the Roughnecks, and they're rough. So be careful down there.
I don't have a gun.
Oh well, maybe check the lost and found. I can't help you. And she begins to hobble away.
No, I don't have a gun. But why are their necks so rough?
Do you have a gun? Since we're all asking.
Gun check, everybody.
Gun check.
Roll for gun? Yeah. I'm not in need of a gun.
Doesn't need a gun. Fancy.
So, neighbors.
Yes.
That's it.
He does this dramatic. He's practicing.
Well, we should get some food. She looks hungry.
At that moment, there's a terrible squealing noise as a very gaunt figure who is kind of pushing his little, like a hot dog cart. And he goes, Would anyone like a hot dog?
A glizzy?
You don't want a hot dog. You don't want a hot dog.
I don't want a glizzy. I can't eat glizzies, but my friend here is my
I
understanding.
love hot dogs. Yeah, it's like one of my favorite foods. It's like one of the 4 major food groups. I learned that in school. Let's go talk to the guy. Let's see what he's.
Spaceship guys.
You take a step closer and you're hit with a wall of the most fetid hot dog water scent you've ever smelled in your life. It is unbearably putrid.
It's a little bit rough. It's fresh. That's fresh.
I can't smell.
Yeah. Okay. Thank God. You should be so lucky. I think I'm gonna pass on the glizzies. Thanks.
Everybody always does. And he starts pushing his terribly squeaking cart off into the...
Oh, do you live here?
Yes, I've been unfortunate enough to call this place my home for a long time.
Oh, what's your name, neighbor?
My name is 𝚘𝚏𝚗𝚙𝚎. Or so they...
Doily.
or so they tell me.
Okay. Well, this is like the only place I would rent to a sight unseen. So like, we got to make
there's a
money
reason
at some point to pay the rent. So I don't know. Let's go check out, see what this lady has for a job.
Are we living together?
Look, I didn't get a chance to tell you because the old lady she was going off on, she just talked so fast, but like.
She talked rather slow.
I
She
know.
was old.
I was giving her some. I was trying to be polite or whatever. But look, I just wanted to say I'm sorry I called you a robot. I know you're not a robot. I know you're an actor, but I didn't know that
he's not a
at the
robot?
time.
I'm an actor, fleshbag.
He's an actor.
But a robot.
Flashbang.
No. Yes, by my base derivative. Yeah. What about you, fleshbag? Fleshbag. It's not so good, now is it? Does it feel good?
He gets all on the flashback thing.
Point of order.
I was trying to be.
That anybody's
Point of
ever
order.
told me.
Robot is just what you are. It's not like
No.
that'd be similar to us. Like if I called you a toaster, that would be like you calling me a fleshbag.
Well, it depends. Am I acting of a toaster? Am I in the role of a toaster?
On the way over, he did the toaster impression. It was pretty good.
You want to see it?
Yeah, he can be a toaster. Like.
Kind of do. Oh,
Watch it. It's coming. It's sometimes. See, told you. He's an actor. He's a genius. Yeah.
Who's acting?
He knows what 𝚙𝚏 means.
Am I just a robot now?
I mean,
You're a robot actor.
yeah, no one said you were just a robot. I mean, robots have many functions. In society, we all have functions.
And as an actor, I have all the functions.
No, as an actor,
Executive and
as an
otherwise.
actor, you kind of have just the one function.
Well, yeah. Okay, don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. We're not taking his job.
If
we're
you
not,
are to be my agent,
we're not
you're
taking her
supposed to
job.
prevent-
Yeah, I know. Okay, let's go. Let's go talk to the. He almost killed me.
I almost killed him.
Yeah.
Wow. Beautiful beginning.
Yeah, and then we insulted each other. There was a tense moment, and
He
then
was
he showed me
leaking
the
everywhere.
toaster thing. Yeah, I don't want to talk about the leaking. It was once. It was a long walk.
You're still leaking now.
I can leak. I can leak.
In fact, all of you are leaking.
Yeah.
Gross.
Very perceptive.
I don't leak.
And you guys are in, kind of take a look around. You are in an old paint factory, the 𝚤𝚒𝚗𝚏 lead paint factory. There are still hints of these paints being scraped along the walls. You have, you guys are right next door to each other, your rooms. Freya is in the corner, and you have a small apartment right next to that.
So I'm in my.
You're
it's
out
a
in the
whole
hallway,
apartment.
but you each have your own apartment room.
I look at the apartment. I see the kitchen, the bathroom, the bed.
Yeah.
Turn to Francis. Be like, so separate apartments. Seems expensive.
Yes.
I have no money.
I also have no money.
Okay. Do we really need to be paying the lease of 2 apartments?
Ooh, that's a really good idea.
Because here's a scenario. I don't eat, I
Uh-huh.
don't sleep, and I don't leak.
Dude,
So I really just need a place to stand and charge.
actually, kind of like the perfect roommate. Yeah, I've got a. There's a closet. You think you fit in this closet? I think there's an outlet in here.
I can absolutely visit that.
Dude, let's fit you in the closet. I'm gonna shut the door. Like, definitely shut the door.
and then like a really bright light shines inside.
So much better.
The charger takes so
The charger TV has a blinking light.
It's like a nuclear power plant in there. It's
Like
like
sun
this
cloud.
hum. I'm like, ooh, my skin feels itchy.
The
What's up with
goggles.
that? Yeah.
Utilities bill is going through the roof.
You remember the door was just bleached in there? It's like an afterburn.
There's like a shadow of him on the wall.
As you connect, you hear the whisper kind of connect to you and goes,
So you've come to find it, have you? The cure for death.
and then it's gone.
Have I heard that before?
You are familiar with how the whisper feels. This one has a voice. You're not used to that.
So it was always just a sensation before.
Before, it was little kind of like pings and pokes at your psyche. This one is speaking directly to you.
Inspiration strikes at all hours, it seems. Hey. Rumi,
Yeah.
do you need to eat?
You open the door. Yes. Like, I am so fucking hungry. I haven't eaten in like 2 years. Let's go find some food. Or we don't have any money.
What we do need, though.
Can we still hear you guys, or you're inside the apartment?
They have loud voices.
Yeah, we're loud. Yeah.
You hear through the walls. Money is a construct.
Holy shit. This is gonna be yeah,
Money is a construct.
Yeah, okay.
You're a construct.
Acting?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, that's kind of.
Money is acting.
I can't think about this right now. This is too much. Let's go find like a job and some food, and maybe in that order, maybe in the other order. Food.
Gun.
Gun. Yeah.
When it's
Do you have a gun?
Well,
You have a sidearm issued to you, but I don't know if you'd tell
yeah,
people.
I know.
Ask a lady.
Well, we can.
Open carries.
Very rude. I mean, I'm fine. I don't need one. We're fine.
Let's go get a gun. They said there might be one in the lost and found. Let's get a gun, and then we'll make our way down.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, sounds good.
I don't need a gun. No.
Oh, could you lead
Need
the
a
way?
gun.
A gun
Money's
is a construct.
Don't need a gun.
Gun's a construct too.
Yeah.
When it comes to food, either you want to go up for actual decent food, or you can,
Decent food.
if you're not willing to ask a lot of questions, there's
Decent.
Okay.
Decent.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
We can
I'll take
put a pause on the gun. Get food first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
I don't eat, but I will show you that I can act like a meat.
That's gonna be cool. I'm excited to see that. He doesn't have a mouth. How's he gonna do that?
Wow.
How's he gonna do it? Who could know? Who could possibly know?
And I must eat.
you don't have to prove to any of us that you can seem like you don't have to prove anything to anybody.
Madam, acting is something you must prove every day.
To who?
Auditions, directors, casting agents. You have to prove that you can act.
None of us are any of those things. Well, actually, I don't know what she is. She
None of those things.
Smells like a cop.
I smell like a cop.
You smell like a
What the
cop.
fuck does that
Smells
mean?
like a cop.
I can't smell.
Cop smell.
Thank you. Bardo, was it?
Bardo.
You have like a little scanner. Cop detection.
Tell me, sister, what's your job?
Well, I solve cases.
Cop.
Cop.
Well, I'm a detective. It's a little more highbrow.
That is a fancy cop.
Yes, thank you. Oh, it is fancy.
No, yes, it's a level above.
He can be a cop. You give him like 2 seconds. He can be a cop.
I can be a cop.
I
Yeah.
don't doubt it for one bit. That's not what I do.
That's like a Western cowboy. Like Ennio Morricone. I can't
do
do it.
not-
I don't have a guitar
do
set up.
not eat
If I did, I would.
With cops?
I I mean, cops are part of the machine.
Right.
And
Yes, and we're all cogs in the machine. And
Right, and we must disassemble the
yes,
machine.
that would be great.
But,
But
you're,
in the
but you're
meantime-
part of the machine.
Yes, well, I need to be.
I'm not comfortable with this talk of disassembling machines.
No. The machine is a metaphor for government, consumerism, society,
Other stuff.
How about
other things.
And you're like listing things off down the hallway.
As we're going,
And then we cut.
Listen, every single
and we're like up at the top airline companies.
those are my
There's like a
favorite
little
things,
door,
yeah.
the exit to the roof, and we hear like a little muffled list of things.
Construction companies,
And
Shops?
it be-
hairdressers.
Multi-level marketing schemes.
my dog. No.
Beauty pageants.
It begins to rain on the dot. It rains like clockwork on Europa, and you open the door to the roof. There is 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘, which is built out of like a small shipping container. You see 𝚘𝚒𝚗, who is a three-armed man. He's got two mechanical arms down below, and then he's got one biological, and one has been, something happened to it, but his gown. And he's cooking over like this big wok. He's moving just incredibly quickly. He's seasoning with one hand. His mechanical arms are shuffling the pot, and he goes, "All right, make this quick. I don't like running this thing when the rains are coming down. I don't recognize a lot of your faces."
I'm with her.
She's there with me, apparently.
We're neighbors.
Just moved in.
What do you guys want to eat?
What do you got?
I got noodles, and you bring the stuff.
Yeah, and she produces a bag which she places on the counter.
There's like little spices in there, kind of exotic plants grown, maybe turmeric or garlic, and very quickly becomes sliced so thin it'll melt right into the pot, and he places that in, and oh man, the smells that just immediately permeate out from 𝚘𝚘𝚘𝚘 are incredible. He hands you a small bag of euros, payment for the crops. And he goes, "Well, I got noodles, and today we got flavor."
Sounds great.
Before long, he hands out 4 bowls of just steaming noodles. It kind of like wafts into this cold, rainy air. He goes, "All right, table's over there. Try to sit at the edges. The water kind of pools in the middle."
Actor.
Bardo.
Why
It's got a
would-
name.
Beta 4, research into dramatic
Right.
operations.
Why, when you're already apparently strapped for cash, are you buying noodles that you cannot eat?
Yeah. Well, he's gonna pretend to eat, and it's gonna be sweet. But
I'm sorry,
you bring up a
you owe
good.
him like a
You bring up a
or
good
something?
point. No, dude, we're just like pals or whatever.
Yeah, we've known each
Yeah.
other for a whole, what, 4
Yeah.
or 5 hours?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't understand what your problem is.
Part of the process.
Yeah.
It's part of the acting process.
Wait a second.
Trust the process.
He's acting like my friend. He's doing a great job at it. But like that does bring up a good point. Can't exactly pay for the noodles. Do you accept credit?
Look, no, absolutely not. But I got a favor you could run for me.
A gig?
Sure, whatever you want to call it.
A gig? Yeah, paying.
So you're a Mars Unlimited robot, aren't you?
That I am, good sir. You recognize fine craftsmanship?
Well, craftsmanship, I suppose. And he like gestures down to his arms, and same make and manufacture, but I'm running low on parts for the motorics of the thing. There's an old abandoned Mars Unlimited factory not too far from here. If you were to retrieve some of the parts I might need, I got noodles.
What's the situation like in the factory?
Bring a gun.
Gun.
Gun! I should have gone with gun.
Fuck. We gotta go get the gun.
Is it sparse people?
There are stories of stuff moving around inside there late at night.
Okay. Do you know any more than that? That's
Well-
really vague.
He goes,
What is moving?
He goes, "What are you, a cop?"
Yes, she's a cop.
Oh, that explains it. All right,
Yes,
well.
There's always something moving.
What?
How long have you been?
Is that a euphemism?
How long have you... Well, how long have any of you been in the pit?
I've been here for...
Physically? 5, I don't know, 10 years, I don't know, it's been 100, I don't know, years, but, you know.
Couple hours, conscious. at least?
Consciously? Yeah, just a few
Yeah.
hours.
People don't wind up in Hyper Block 1 in the pit because they desire to be here. They wind up here because this is where they wind up when they flush out of everywhere else.
It's true.
Because the current system is built upon the haves and the have-nots, and those that have not flush out.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
my
need that. I'm
God.
gonna need those pieces sooner rather than later.
I can see why you were flushed here.
Oh my gosh! I know.
A little back and forth, little
I'm sorry,
tete-a-tete.
and you woke up in a trash pit?
I think so. I think recycling is the
Yeah,
proper
it's
term.
recycling.
But yes.
It's not a lie.
The pit
Recycling.
within the pit.
They reuse the stuff or whatever. It's
Yes,
true.
I could have been another cog in the machine.
Yeah.
Has everyone finished their noodles?
The last scrapings of the bowl.
Okay.
are done.
They got a. So the lady said there might be a gun in the lost and found. So let's go. Let's check out the lost and found, and then let's head over to the.
Let's gun up.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll walk behind.
Let's get strapped.
Let's
Yeah, it's good strapped. Yeah.
You guys walk back in, and about midway down Hyperblock 1, there is an old butchery shop that has been closed and then painted over. There's like kind of a red cross, very crappily painted on over the sign. This kind of very nervous looking man, long hair, kind of pokes his head out. He's got a long kind of doctor's coat on. He goes, hi, sorry, are you guys, is anything wrong with any of you?
How
Y'all
much
okay?
time you got? This one will talk your ear off.
Physically, you're okay though. I'm not a psychiatrist.
Picture of health. We're just looking for the lost and found.
Oh, thank God. Okay, yeah. And he opens it up. He opens up, and there's inside his little makeshift clinic. There's a little box in the corner. He goes, all right, so you can look in that. Just be careful don't poke yourself on anything. Some of it could be sharp, or there could be rust, and tetanus is very serious. Well, you don't want lockjaw, okay? So just be careful about the cardboard box.
Listen, Hyperblock 101, don't touch anything you don't need to.
It seems like they are very into guns.
I'm like digging in it, man. Like, we're like digging through. We're like, dude, there's like so much stuff in here.
Pull my arm out. There's just needles all over it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Boom.
I can't get tetanus, so I'm good.
Sweet.
You are rooting through the lost and found, and you realize these are all items from people that didn't make it in the clinic. And and then you find the oldest, crappiest gun. The wood has kind of rotted away from the handle. It is almost entirely rust, and a trigger that just barely fires.
Can I tell if it's loaded at all?
Yeah, you want to stare down the barrel?
No, can I tell from without staring down the barrel if it's loaded? Yeah.
You could so I want to say, let's say it's an old 6-shooter, and so you're trying to hammer out the fucking
won't
thing,
come out?
and the doctor goes, careful, and he bruises. Don't be careful with your palm. You don't want to bruise anything. And then you barely manage to pop it out, and there's a single bullet in there.
I'm gonna pull the trigger.
It ricochets and then just barely scrapes Dr. Levstick's cheek, and he goes, "Ah!" and
My
runs
God,
into the bathroom.
that was a 1 in 6 chance. I'm so fucking sorry. Oh God, that was our only bullet.
Just so I'm clear, you knew that there was one bullet in there.
I didn't know it was in the right spot. I don't use guns.
Wait, sorry.
And then
We're gonna re-roll.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Roll me a d6.
I thought
Roll me a
that's what I was
d6.
hoping.
Sorry,
Okay.
yeah, I misread that. I got excited.
It's a 1 in 6 shot, right?
Yep.
It's a 5.
Okay, clicks on empty.
Okay.
Oh, jeez, okay. How about
Click it
stop?
2 more times.
Just, oh my God.
All right.
Fuck.
All right. The bullet bounces, hits Dr. Levstick, grazes his cheek. Ah! and he
shit.
runs into the back,
Oh.
freaking the fuck out.
Fuck. Well,
You needed a gun.
we still have the gun. We still have the gun.
A gun with no bullets.
They can throw it. But guess what?
They can throw anything.
He can pretend like it has bullets.
I can act like there's bullets in it.
You can take the gun. Take the gun.
Freeze! I have a gun that is loaded with bullets.
Oh my god.
Stop or my robot will shoot.
Yeah, dude. We don't need the bullet. The bullet was more of a liability anyway.
Bullet's a metaphor.
Like,
Bullet.
look,
It's a construct.
okay.
Violence inherent in the system.
But we need violence to tear down. It's a cycle. It makes sense if you read the literature.
Right. The state monopoly on violence. We need the monopoly on violence.
Okay.
How do I get to the plan?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
We have a
You,
gig.
I'm gonna
All right.
follow
Yeah,
you.
we have a gig. If we get some money, I'll pay for the doctor's stitches or whatever. He can do it himself, but I'll compensate him.
little gauze pad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna save you all a lot of time here. When you start meeting the inhabitants, don't ask what's wrong with them. It's not worth your time.
Okay, well, what's wrong with them?
As I said before, people don't wind up in the pit because they want to wind up in the pit. They wind up in the pit because they wind up in the pit.
Yes, so what is so special about the inhabitants?
Are you sure you're not an actor?
It's
Everyone's weird here, homie.
everyone's weird here. Yeah, like she breaks down. She's like, no, everyone's weird. Everyone's strange. Everyone has a thing, and it's usually not good.
Well, why can't I ask? I'd love to ask.
You would, cop.
Yeah.
And we're gonna cut this scene
there.
here.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are making your way down through Hyperblock 1. There's a little side exit, and the rain has finally stopped. You make your way out into the pit proper. It used to be an open pit mine, so there's remnants of machinery, dilapidated buildings, kind of the silicate dust that cakes your shoes and gets kicked up into your lungs. And that's where we're going to take a break.
Well, what the heck?
Recorded this time.
Yeah.
Recorded.
You see these lines?
Yeah.
That means recorded, goddammit.